welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Jack's Haunted Adventures. It's a late evening. The time is 9 o'clock in the evening. I remember the last time I came out here, it was dark at this time. It's quite interesting. Love it, love it. Love staying in the Northern Hemisphere. It's absolutely amazing. The sun's been a bit warm, like it's been a bit, not going to complain about it. It's good to get a suntan. It's really good to get a suntan. Well, this late evening, 9 o'clock in the evening video or episode is I've not done one for a while, and it's an urban legend. And I thought I'd come back with the urban legend series with a really good urban legend. And that urban legend is the Mimic. The Mimic urban legend is actually a worldwide. It gets called different things in different parts of the world. Some parts of America, some parts of Canada, the UK, some parts of Europe, they call it the Mimic because it can replicate voices, it can replicate your own, it can replicate people that are close to you, like loved ones, relatives, and then it can also replicate those that have passed on. Off camera, in a certain area, I've had an experience with that one, which is why I've taken a couple of months to have a break, because some of the experiences have been a bit intense. Because there's experiences where I've came out where I've not recorded, and they're just exactly the same as well, when I'm not recording, they're a little bit more intense. The camera seems to, which is why I find they're interdimensional. Like some, especially this one, the Mimic is actually an interdimensional entity. You've got to look through the looking glass. When you go through looking, if you look through the looking glass, that comes with a warning. Don't want to look down the looking glass too far or too deeply. But anyway, we shall begin. With this one, because there's been a few comments about like what do you think's causing some of the things, and well, this is one, because it's I had the couple of months break. I was doing a wee bit of a dive on encounters and mysteries and strange experiences and encounters that people have had in the Appalachian mountain trails, and people that live around Appalachia and stuff. Some of them are quite because a couple of the rules of conduct, you would only do it if there was a mimic. Because the saying goes, it's the same with in here. Like if I hear a voice that sounds distant, it's actually closer. And I've came to Ravenswood specifically to do this one, because this is where I've had a couple of strange, unexplained encounters, because it's also on top, like I've stated in previous videos, it's also, this woodland is right on top of a whale line. And if you don't know, I highly recommend that you go looking it up. It's like a natural stairs, natural flow. It's usually, some whale lines are on top of fault lines. Not all, because this one sort of is on a fault line, but sort of not. Because over yonder, to my left, is a volcanic pug, which that's where the actual fault line starts, and that's where the whale line stops around this area, and then goes over yonder, and then it goes up through the Teutonic fault line. Towards the end of this video, or I might just do another episode, I will speak about some of the experiences I've had with this one. Another thing with the mimic is that separates this from a lot of the other urban legends, is it can actually appear during the day and it can also appear at night time as well. Usually the videos I've been watching of the mimic is ones that have daytime videos and nighttime videos. And if it's really interesting. And this urban legend is ancient, because all native cultures on different parts of the world all talk about the others, and when they get specific about the others, this one's mentioned, because it's the Native Americans call it the one that replicates. Other tribes have different ways of calling it, because it could also tie in with the shapeshifter as well, but shapeshifter doesn't mimic voices, especially those voices that people that are no longer around, and that makes it 100% a interdimensional entity. And why is it an urban legend? Because it's this urban legend is active. I've had a couple of videos this year. I've had one experience off camera. It's something else when you watch videos online, but when it actually happens to you personally, it can be a bit wild, especially when it's a person that's no longer around and hasn't been around for a long time. But hearing their voice call out to you is rather strange. I'm looking down because I've got notes on this one. I decided to do this urban legend in the late evening, because it is the Northern Hemisphere. It is 9 o'clock at night. It wasn't the last time I was in here at this time. At 9 o'clock it was pitch dark. That's why I love. It's quite hard to do nighttime videos at this time of the year, because it's only dark for a couple of hours. You get more of a, like in about 6 weeks time, by the time this video is uploaded, the other videos would have already been uploaded. I'm just spacing out the videos and uploads. I have stated in other videos, and mainly in this one, is the off-camera experiences are usually about the same, but sometimes they can be a bit more intense. But I have also had wild daytime encounters. The last video before this one is before you're watching this one, the last episode. The old burial mound, and then seeing someone, because there was someone standing there. The camera doesn't really show it. It's briefly there and then just vanishes, and then I go looking for it. But before all that, I actually call out. I'll be doing a bit more of that, because if there is, like, I would do a lie detector test, and I know I would pass, because there was someone standing there. But when I looked back down through the camera, wasn't there, because when I looked back up, it had gone, and I was like, cool. Because I even point to it, it's like it's there. Wild. Broad daylight as well, and that was I think that was still actually in the morning. then there's a couple of other random. Well, that video's actually already uploaded. The last random one was the bumblebee. I was talking about the fairies and then the bumblebee and then the bird of prey no long after. No such thing as a coinkydink. No such thing as a coinkydink. And I actually recorded all that on camera as well, which is pretty cool. And this one can be tied up to the... Not saying it is, but some of the... I've had a look at a couple of the cases, the case files from the missing 411. There is a couple where it is in areas where like a couple of people, because they're still actively missing, there's no one's been found. Makes it a bit strange. Not all the encounters in the Appalachia are mimics, but the ones there's one in particular where a young person hears someone calling out to him, and then the mum hears it, and the dogs are totally reacting to it. That video is actually legit. There is actually there's actually a follow-up video to that, and it's actually quite wild. And that's what makes it legit, is the dogs are actually reacting to it. And then you hear it again. It's one of the very few videos where I get the I get the goosebumps like a motherfucker. Every hair stands up on edge because it's and that's the other thing, your own your own senses will tell you if it's legit or not. I've seen a few that are a bit legit, probably a bit too real. And then I can relate to my own experiences as well. But when mine's happen, I've got to try and differentiate, is it the mimic or is it the druid energy? Because over here the druid can also call out as well. And the mimic can be hostile. It's a very... I would call this one pure evil, because it can be hostile, it can throw objects and stuff. I've got one video in particular on my channel that's where I've had an object thrown at me and stuff. Especially when I know wholeheartedly I'm in here on my own. There's no one around. There's not even any farm animals. All the farm animals are further down the valley. You'll be able to hear them because it is a valley, so they do bellow quite loudly. But in Ravenswood itself, I'm the only one here. There's no one else around. I'm intentionally being here for late evening, so I want to try and do a night walk on the way back down. It might not work. It might. And I've just realised I've dropped my... oh well. Dropped my torch. Oh well. Oh well. Better not let these episodes go too long, because I've not got a light to get back down. It'll be at one of the up and overs. Oh well. It's probably happened for a reason. But I've got a head torch, but it's not very good for recording. I've got to try and be mindful of the light. Oh well. If this urban legend of the mimic intrigues you, I do recommend looking. There's like compilation. There's like a couple of compilation channels. All you need to do is type in Appalachia, creepy videos from Appalachia. Maybe you'll get a. I do it on YouTube, but you can. There's other platforms where you can search up. But if you want a good, there is a couple of channels that you can look up on that subject. There's a good few channels. They're the compilation ones because you get multiple. And in that if you do the right compilation, within the first 10 videos, you'll get the lady and the dogs and their scenario. There is a couple of their videos. They are a wee bit long, but they're pretty intense. And then you get a couple of others where you see a whole load of other things. It's quite interesting. And I always say this in every video I've done, especially since I've been doing the journey through the Vale. I come out with no intentions to experience or encounter anything. I have done episodes previously where I have came out with the intention to try and encounter something and nothing happens. So I just come out with if something's happening, something's happening. You can hear the raven in the background because the raven just actually agreed with me there because I come out with no intention to encounter anything. It's the same with the wildlife encounters as well, like with the most recent one with the bumblebee and the bird of prey. I don't come out with any intention with anything. I just come out for a walk, and where I start is when I start coming across the wee white feathers. If you do go looking for if you do the Appalachian creepy videos, just remember to use spiritual protection, because there's more than a few of the videos that are more real than it's always a passive thing to say it's open to interpretation or open to opinion. But there's a few that are just there's a few that are more real than people realise. There are a few that there's always going to be a few videos that are staged, and I always say I'm here on my own. I don't stage any of these things. I wouldn't even know where to begin to how to stage it on my own. So that's where the people that think like some of the videos are staged, Like, I wouldn't even know how to begin to stage a video, because I do this on my own. I do it on my own for a reason. Just heard something behind me as well. I left this urban legend till now. I was meant to do it on a follow-up to the last night experiences in here. I was meant to come out and actually do recordings of urban legends. But a couple of things happened in the videos that were a bit intense, and then the videos are intense because being here and actually seeing what I was able to see was something, but it's the dreams that followed afterwards, and I thought, nah, I need to take a wee break, because by the last proper nighttime experience I had already, it was months and months. I had a wee break over the festive period, just to doing especially when you're seeing shapes, dark figures moving through woodlands with no noise, and you know 100% that you're up here on your own. Because briefly in the video where I go for a walk and then the light's shining, when I actually turn the camera, you do actually see a shade go past that light. I've got the goosebumps because I know I'm being watched at the moment. Anyway. Yeah, I left this one till now. Just by the experiences I've had, but it's still an active urban legend. You can look it up. You can look up the mimic. You can also look up the mimic videos and stuff. That comes with a warning. Because some of the videos will take you to Appalachia or around the Appalachian area. But here's quite a. It can be welcoming, but it can also be a wee bit. Not all the time. Sometimes it can be a bit. You know, you just know when you're being watched. And like I've always stated, it's not paranoia or anything. But the urban legend of the mimic is quite a good one. It's one of my. I left it until now because I didn't want to really do it when everything was over a witching hour. This urban legend's a daytime or a late evening when there's still daylight. It's not a topic for nighttime. Especially when I'm trying, especially when I've had a couple of experiences where it's it's been the mimic I've had a couple of experiences with it, and not just recently. I've had it throughout over throughout the time of being alive. I've always, I don't say it all the time, but sometimes the creepy and the weird and the wonderful is drawn to me. More so when it realises that I can see it. Which is why I like doing this sort of thing, so I get a thrill out of it. Get a thrill out of it. It's something I enjoy doing. Especially talking about urban legends, and I will be going back onto the ghost stories as well. Because why not? Why not? And on that, I need to actually try and find my torchlight. I just want to see if I've missed out anything on the notes. This urban legend can be perceived as what you can be. This urban legend of the mimic, the mimic urban legend can be. It's all down to how you perceive evil. I don't perceive a lot of things as being evil, malevolent, mischievous. But malevolent and mischievous cannot. It all depends on how you're able to handle it. But this something that can replicate your own voice, and then can also replicate a voice of a family member or a loved one that's passed over. I would perceive that as being evil. I know a lot of people would perceive it as being demonic. But I'm going to do a topic on what I would perceive as something being demonic. And it'll be quite interesting. That'll be an interesting topic one. That'll be the that episode I'm actually in the middle of writing that one. There's probably going to be a lot of notes. And I haven't forgotten about the urban legend of King Arthur. I'm just waiting to... That'll be an urban legend. That'll be the first urban legend that when the nights actually start drawing in and it's a bit darker, that'll be the first urban legend on when the nights start going in. Because I'm continuing this journey through the Vale until the end of this year. I'm taking it all the way to Yule. On camera, I officially started it back in October, but unofficially myself, I started it in before that. I started it the same year, but I started it in January. No, the Blood Moon. Last year's Blood Moon is when I started the journey through the Vale. And I thought I'll just keep it going till the end of this year. So I have got other areas where I'm going to be going. I just like coming here because it's... why not? People be like, oh, you're going to the same areas and no. I was drawn to this area. I've got a video where I'm at the bottom of the valley looking up and going, I'm looking up and I'm drawn to it. And then I was like, when I actually came up, I've got videos of being around here and stuff, and I thought, no, this is actually quite a good wee area to actually come and do spirit talkers, urban legends, ghost stories, and if I encounter anything on my videos, it's a good place to come and chit chat, because at the same time it is also active as well, because it's on top of a way line, so you just absolutely never know what's going to happen. It could be chill, it might not, and that's the whole point in doing me doing these kind of videos, because sometimes things are drawn to me, sometimes they're not, sometimes there's nothing around. I've got videos where I've not encountered anything, I've just came out for a late night walk. But anyway, don't want this one going too long. I'm just going to double check I've checked all. I forgot I've missed out. The mimic can actually mimic tree knocking. Because some of the tree knocking that I've encountered and I've experienced, we don't really have anything in the UK that can do that. So the only conclusion I came to is it's the mimic, and it being an interdimensional being, and it being in the areas where I go to, like a couple of specific areas, i.e. here in the area where the symbols and where the symbols are all, where it's all crisscrossed and stuff. Wouldn't it surprise me, like it's like the amount of times the spirit talkers, because I've went out and not recorded and it's said the exact same thing. When I get to it, it always says portal, or it's sometime around it, being around it, it'll say witchcraft, portal. When it comes to witchcraft, I'm not really that bothered about it, because it's whatever. There's far more evil there's far more evil things happening in the world to be worried about witchcraft, that you can be assured of. But as we all know, it's what you perceive as being evil. I don't perceive witchcraft as being evil, because then you would have to perceive me as being evil, because I'm a green witch. I have been for a long time. It's the first time I've actually came on camera and said I'm actually a green witch. I've got memoirs, and I've got my own journals and stuff, and it's nothing evil. It's about using herbs and plants and growing things and appreciating nature. That's a proper green witch. It's like, it's all about respecting and loving nature. I respect nature, I love nature, I love the nature experiences I get, and because I perceive it that way, I get other things, other encounters with wildlife. I help out a wee bumblebee, and then I get a bird of prey that flies over. Well, my interpretation of that, because of what I believe in, is I helped a bumblebee, which fairies love to fly around on bumblebees, and then the bird of prey, because the bird of prey is actually quite big, it's quite a big bird of prey, and I thought, that's Freya, because she's the goddess of the fairies. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. I think I've touched on it before. I'm not that, you can think whatever you want, I'm not bothered. I'm at one with the light is at one with me. So it doesn't really matter what you can think whatever, I'm not bothered. I don't do spell casting or anything, I just appreciate and love nature, and I'll help nature if at all possible. And I also respect the balances and the forces of nature as well, because it's who I am. I've came to the conclusion, because it is towards the end of this video, I've had a couple of comments in the comment section saying what do I think. Some of it's got to do with the mimic. It's towards the end of this, it's the end of this video, so if you've hung around to this point in the video, some of the tree symbols and some of the encounters and experiences I've had on camera and off camera, not all of them, but the vast majority of them have been the mimic. I have no idea why. I've had other encounters with other things. I've had the druid, I've had the druid, the grey lady, the lantern lady, which is pretty similar to the grey lady. That's another urban legend. I've actually got that urban legend here. It's like it's two urban legends, but it's one urban legend video, proper, with some key facts and stuff. Because it is a renowned urban legend in other parts of the United Kingdom, but here in Scotland, it's perceived as a particular person, whereas in other parts it can be perceived as someone else entirely. But some of the symbols, like, because it is an interdimensional entity, I've said it in this video. And it being with this woodland being on a way line, and where the other woodland is, and where a couple of other woodlands that I've been to, because this woodland's got a burial mound at the top, it's also got a burial mound at the bottom. The other Eagles Wood that I go to, there's two burial mounds in there. There's another woodland that I've came across that I've been wanting to go, and I went there. I've got the video. There's a burial mound. It's actually quite a big one. And then the one with the symbols, the forest with the symbols in the wood, there is also a burial mound in there as well. And at one point there would have been a cave as well, but it's been quarried out for the granite stone. And then at the other side it's been quarried for iron ore, because it's iron ore. And then on the other side of the valley there's the abandoned cottage, which I'll be going back to. I went for a walk today to go up there, but the minute I got to the abandoned cottage, it started getting really windy. And it's been slightly breezy since then. And I was also walking to the area of the old Iron Age fort or settlement. But again, it was too windy because it was obviously earlier today. Earlier today. I haven't forgotten about some of the areas where I want to go, because there's also the battlefield as well. I haven't forgotten about that. I haven't. I just have to, when I go to the areas, because they're in the open, I don't want it being too windy, because it just ruins the experience. But on the next calm day, I'll be going to the battlefield, which will probably mean a wee go to the battlefield, do a video at the battlefield, and then probably come in here and do a topic, and then a wee video on the walk back down. Because why not? I'm going to let this one go to around about 40-45 minutes. We're at the 39-minute mark, so we'll go to about 45. It's not too long, it's not too short. I've covered the urban legend of the mimic. I'm just seeing if anything else comes to mind about the mimic that I've missed. The only way you can really add to the mimic urban legend is if you've had an experience with it, and I've had experiences. I've got them on video. I've also had experiences of where I've had something just before I've came on camera, and that was at the Symbols in the Wood. I've heard a voice that I've not heard for a long time call out my name, and that's when I decided to get the camera and start recording. Because on that video I just had my name called out. I was out in that woodland in the middle of, because they are out in the middle of nowhere. Which they are. Because in the grand scheme of things, it's the middle of buttfuck nowhere. I'm in the middle of nowhere, I go out and then I go, because I'm over yonder, as they say in America. I'm over yonder and then I go over yonder. Not all the time, but sometimes. But I've got to be mindful when I go over yonder. I've got to walk back, and then I've got to walk back past all these areas where I've had encounters and experiences and stuff. I'm not scared. It's just if I have something happen over there, I can be assured that it's going to happen here, because where the battlefield is on top of the way line. I've went around woodlands around the other side, and that's near where the battlefield is. And every time I've tried to go over there, and especially at night time, it's the wind has all of a sudden just decided to I knew talking about it I would because the mimic will also use the wind as cover as well, which is it's a cunning entity, put it that way, which is why it's an interdimensional entity. One of the very few urban legends that's still active and is actually an interdimensional being or entity, depending on which way you want to look at it. Because I have got a couple of other urban legends, but they have to be done in broad daylight. Can't do them at late evening. Because I've only scratched the other urban legend videos. I was only doing the ones that are popular and very common to be talked about and stuff. And then there's more urban legends to come, but the mimic is a really interesting urban legend. And whatever you do, don't go seeking it. Don't go seeking it. It's not something you seek out. That would be my advice to anybody, is don't go seeking it. Because it's not a friendly entity, put it that way. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's also got different names as well. But I forgot to write the different names. But when you go looking, if you do your own digging on it, you'll come across that it's actually got multiple names. So anyway, it's an interesting urban legend, and it's also one, if you're interested in creepy videos and scary videos and stuff. Creepy videos, or type in mimic videos from creepy mimic videos and creepy videos from Appalachia. It won't let you down. I'm going to come off this one and I'm going to do it the other way around and do a wee walk with the spirit talker, because why not? I'm here anyway. And I could probably go looking for my torchlight. So anyway, come join me on the wee walk around. It's only going to be a short walk. It's not going to be a long one. But anyway, come join me on the next one. Come join me on the next one. It'll probably just be a random donder through trees, but you never know, because off in the up over up there, I'm seeing things, because there's no animals, there's no other people around. I'm here, as I've said, I can't stay enough. I do this on my own. I enjoy it, I get a thrill out of it. Anyway, come join me on the walk around. Till then, stay safe, stay blessed. Cheery bye now. Cheery bye. See you on the next one. Cheery bye.